Welcome to Don't Settle for Gold. Be sure to subscribe to Don't Settle for Gold on YouTube by clicking that little thing up there. And also visit don'tsettleforgold.com to find an abundance of inspirational quotes, motivational quotes, and a lot of other goodness, as well as links to my other social media sites. And share with others. I appreciate it, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, welcome back to another exciting episode of Don't Settle for Gold. Be sure to visit don'tsettleforgold.com and follow us across all social media, share with others. And today what I want to talk about is why it's important to start earning or extend the misery. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs, they're entrepreneurs because they know that their personal ambition will lead to success or failure, and that they are directly responsible for success and or failure. So what I want to talk about in this episode is the mentality of, and I'll just give a good example. So someone that is a miserable person, maybe they have a great job, maybe they don't have a job at all. Maybe they really are miserable. But the thing is that a lot of people fail to realize that times that are happy times where everything from a financial perspective is great and everything is just perfect. What people fail to realize is that time passes, whether time is passing in a joyous way or whether time is passing in a miserable way. So with that mentality, what an entrepreneur should embrace is working to make every second count. And by saying that, what I mean is that don't just have an idea. Don't just have an idea and make it happen. Don't just have an idea and make it happen and make it profitable. Maybe it becomes very profitable. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Because that's where so many entrepreneurs fail. They think that, oh, I've done this, and then before they know it, boom, that idea is no longer a success. It's no longer profitable. And now they're literally back out on the street because they have nothing. And that's why it's important. And I can't emphasize this more. And you probably heard this quote. I forget which individual originally stated it, but it's follow the money. Because if one follows the money, they are going to be, at that point in time, most closely aligned with the activity that generates a considerable amount of wealth. And again, this channel is about entrepreneurship. This channel is about motivation, inspiration, mentoring, professional mentoring. But unfortunately, there is a financial backbone to every element of life. And the way to improve the quality of life, not only as a professional, but to improve the quality of life as an individual, is to generate an extreme amount of wealth. An amount of wealth that most people feel, well, I don't even need all of that. No, that's the wrong mentality, because what you've got to look at, you've got to look at inflation. Because what $100 was yesterday, 10 years from now, may be 10 cents. I mean, the inflation devalues the amount of effort that people put into an idea. The effort, they were rewarded for their efforts in the past. And they were rewarded with X amount of dollars. And at that point in time, it seemed like an excessive amount. But going into the future, if inflation continues going into the future, that becomes a very negligible reward. So what was once perceived as extreme wealth is now just a modest amount of money. It's an amount of money where one has to say, well, I would buy that at the grocery store, but I don't want to because that costs more. The idea, my definition of entrepreneurship, is going after an extreme amount of wealth. What a lot of people may consider to be an excessive amount of wealth. And it's not because it's necessarily needed then, but it's creating a greater sense of comfort throughout the many more years. Because if there's no safety blanket and inflation continues, then someone is back to ground zero. They're just getting by paycheck to paycheck. And entrepreneurship is not about getting by. Entrepreneurship is about ruling one's own destiny and making themselves and everyone around them happier. So what I strongly encourage everyone to do is stop. If you're the type person that procrastinates and says, well, you know, I can do that, and maybe I will, and then a year passes, then another year passes, and they still haven't done anything. They're still miserable. They're still miserable because they didn't take the initiatives, and they did not take the initiative themselves to go out and actually make something happen. They may have had a brilliant idea. They may have thought about it. They may have jotted down some business strategies, but they didn't do anything. Someone can have the best idea in the world, but if it's not monetized, if it doesn't materialize, it's never monetized. And if it's not monetized, then there's no point in doing it. Because when it comes to business, when it comes to entrepreneurship, there are few ventures that one will actively participate in that would be of value if there's no form of monetization. And what I like to do, I like to attack, and as the Don't Settle for Gold video series continues, I'll branch out and talk more specifically about certain ventures that people may wish to research and possibly pursue. But what I like to do at a high level, just to kind of build the buzz for what's coming, what I like to do is take as many, and I'm not a risk taker. So what I like to do, it's not risk. Well, it is risk. You could say it's risk to some degree, because it's risk from the perspective that the idea may fail. The idea may not become profitable as expected. And it could be the best idea, and I know that I put 120% of my energy into it and then some more, and it still wasn't profitable. So being the smart entrepreneur that I'm growing to become, I realize that that's just that's a laggard. You know, you got to follow the money, and there's very little, if no financial benefit from running that. So I'm not getting compensated for my personal time to try to grow that. I'm going to discontinue that, and I'm going to follow the money. My other ventures that I have that are profitable, my other ventures where, for example, video monetization, those ventures where I watch the analytics very closely on a daily basis, where I spot trends, where I see which content is generating the most buzz, and not only generating the most buzz, but which content is creating the most advertising revenue. Because if it doesn't pay, it's not worth pursuing more in that area. But what does pay, it's worth identifying similar videos, similar content in the video monetization case that could even greater enhance one's sense of financial security. So that's something I'll get into in later videos, but I can't emphasize the importance of knowing when to cut it off. There's nothing wrong with saying that idea was, I gave it my best effort and it's just not where the money is, and letting go of it. Because there's a bunch of ideas out there. And I'm not going to name drop, but I know several people personally, and it's unfortunate because you see these people. They have great ideas. They've invested an insane amount of money, maybe their own money in addition to the venture capital money that they've obtained. I mean, just an insane amount of money, and they're so passionate about their product, and it's just failing. I mean, they're getting nowhere with it, and then they keep reinvesting time and reinvesting financial resources, and it's if they would just step away and say, hey, follow the money. This isn't working. Maybe I need to cut my losses and move on to the next big thing. There's nothing wrong with that. And what I like, and something I'll share as I mentioned before in future videos on Don't Settle for Gold, so be sure to follow Don't Settle for Gold on all social media if you haven't already. But something I'm really going to dive into very deeply are the business opportunities that for monetization that many people do not realize even exist today. Many people don't see the shift from traditional television to internet-based video. Many people don't see the value in creating content and becoming a perceived community leader within certain areas of interest. And many people don't know that those same commercials that are seen on the big TV networks, when you turn on your television and you're subscribed to that satellite TV or cable TV or whatever type television service, those same commercials can be embedded in one's own content that is created of next to no cost. I mean, just the time that it requires to film yourself on a video or film whatever scenario, and then the bandwidth that's required to upload it to the internet. Most internet service providers have unlimited bandwidth. Many people don't realize that there are opportunities for entrepreneurs, for willing entrepreneurs, that exist, that enable people with very, very little overhead to create, to start to build an empire, if they're passionate about it. To start to build an empire that can generate residual income. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Share it with others. Again, be sure to follow me across all social media. Go to don'tsettleforgold.com. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I look forward to posting a lot more content. Y'all have a good day.